We don't have even education for our children. So it's true, we need a lot. It can be done, but we need a lot of infrastructure. We have to think about these things. Think about it and do it.
So, Maharaj, my question is...
Prabhupada was very much concerned with social development. He wanted these Varnashram communities. Because we're busy preaching. What comes after that? People become devotees. But practically speaking, we're seeing it's very difficult for people to maintain in devotional service because they're living in the demoniac society. And especially so in the Western countries. It's difficult for most of our devotees are going to be grihastas. Great majority. And it's difficult enough in India to maintain Krishna consciousness for the grihastas. And in the West, it's just like some brahmacharis I'm bringing from the West to India, and they're thinking that if I go back to the West, then I'll get married, then I'm finished. Because most of the devotees, once they're married and they get caught up in the materialistic way of life, and their spiritual life goes right down because of bad association. So we don't have an infrastructure. Prabhupada wanted these farm communities where we could live together and help each other be Krishna conscious. So Prabhupada, he was concerned about that. Otherwise, we're preaching, we make more and more devotees, so many more come in the door, and in the meantime, the old batch is going out. That's why you meet someone, oh, yes, I was initiated in 1980s. Oh, really? Whoa, you survived. Everyone should survive. There should be a few who don't go out the door. But the way it is, we're so busy making new devotees, but we don't maintain the old ones. Maybe one of the reasons is in our training. Even we're giving nowadays, it's good. We started Shastric training in philosophy, but we also need training in culture and behavior. And that means the whole way of life, attitudes to life. And as you may be aware, one of my main concerns is that the attitudes of women that are being inculcated nowadays are very destructive to society. But they're being trained that you're just being exploited. If you don't serve your husband, you're just being exploited. Well, Prabhupada said, better to be exploited by one man than by every man. That was Prabhupada's reply to that. Then you become a sex symbol, or a prostitute, in another word. That you're just trying to attract all different men. And that what happens when you get 32, 33, 34, the body is no longer attractive, and there's younger women who are more attractive, and however much you put on lipstick and this and that, you're not very attractive. So your independence and enjoyment lasts up to the age of maybe 30, 33, 34. And maybe you can find some older, 60-year-old men as you go towards 40. But then after that you're finished, no one's interested. One of my sisters, she was one of the early feminists, and she never married. I don't think even she can remember all the boyfriends she had. But now she's finished, she's 50 years old, and no one likes her, she has no friends. Even my father, who's a very liberal kind of person, even he's disgusted with her. So that's it. You just end up as a frustrated old woman with no friends, no children, no respectability in society. And you have a lonely old age. No one cares for you. That's what you get. That's the reality of your independence, enjoying. So it's actually advantageous for women to fix themselves up on one husband, look after their children, and just lead what would be previously be considered a normal, respectable life. And of course be Krishna conscious. But if you think, well, I'll be Krishna conscious and we'll just follow the modern way of thinking, then you'll be a disturbance, because you may think, oh, well, I'm very Krishna conscious, but actually, as Prabhupada noted in one letter, all the women who come to our society, actually, they're looking for husbands. So, if there's no arrangement for that, then it simply causes a disturbance. That instead of young men and young women coming to the temple for Krishna, well, they're coming for Krishna, but They have some other motive also. So that causes a disturbance.